Hi guys, let's sew this simple Bubu kaftan together. I made use of 3 yards of this shiny face poly, but you can use 2.5 yards if you're not making it for a plus size. Then I got about 4 yards of this trimmings. The next thing you'll be needing is your sugar patch. I made use of 4 pieces of it, but if you don't want the design to go below your tummy, then 3 pieces would be enough to achieve this beautiful design. And lastly, your hemming gum. Let's get right into the tutorial. So I'll be folding my fabric into 4 layers. Since I'll be cutting both the front and the back together, I will not be adding any zip to it, so there will be no zipper allowance. I will divide my shoulder measurement by 2 plus my sleeve length. Then I will add extra 2.5 inches to it. You divide your shoulder measurement by 2 and add your sleeve length plus extra 2.5 inches. 1 inch will be used for the hemming of the sleeve and the other 1.5 inches for my seam allowance. After adding mine together, I got about 23 inches. Remember that this 23 inches is from the center back to one part of our sleeve. To get the complete back bodice, I'm going to times the 23 inches by 2, and then I will measure out 46 inches. This 46 inches is the complete back bodice. I'm going to measure another 46 inches for my front bodice. Then I will fold it into 2 to give me 4 layers for both the front and the back bodice. Here I'm just adjusting it, making sure that the upper and the lower parts are equal, because I'm going to use the lower part as the full length of my dress. So I'll be marking out half an inch for my starting line. This will be my border line from where I'll be taking all my measurements. Placing my tape on my border line, I'm going to mark 3 inches for my neck width and 1.5 inches for my neck depth. I'm using 1.5 inches because my client said she doesn't want her dress to be touching her neck. That's why I'm using 1.5 inches. But you can use 1 inch to 1.25. I'll be connecting from the 1.5 inches to the 3 inches neck width, and I will curve it out with my ruler. I placed my tape on my border line and measure 7 inches for my front neck depth. Then I'm going to use my ruler and connect from that 7 inches to the 3 inches neck width. I want mine to have a slight curve, but you can as well make yours straight. On this part, I'm going to measure 1.5 inches for my shoulder slope, and I'll be connecting it with a slant line to the 3 inches neck width. You know our shoulder is not straight. I'm going to rule a slant line to meet the 3 inches neck width that I drew earlier. The next is to place my tape on that 1.5 inches and measure my sleeve opening. I used about 9 inches here, and I will go in by 3 inches. I measured what I have left and it was about 20 inches. So at the hem line, I'm going to deduct just 2 inches. Then I will connect it to the 20 inches that I marked on the chest line. You see this sharp edge at my underarm? I'm going to use my ruler to curve it out. That place shouldn't be pointing. And that will be all for the cutting of this dress. Please remember to add half an inch seam allowance to your shoulder. I'll be cutting the back bodice first, from my neckline to the shoulder, and down to my hemline. Before cutting my front neck depth, I will separate the front and the back bodies, then arrange the neckline of the front bodies before cutting off the unwanted parts. Moving on, I'm going to cut interfaces for my neck areas, starting with the front piece. I've folded this piece of fabric that I'll be using for my interface into two. Then I will bring in my front piece. I will make sure to align the two folded areas. The center front and the folded part of my interface should be in alignment. I will hold them with my pin before tracing out my neckline and my shoulder area. After that, I will remove my pin, and at this point you can give your interface any shape of your choice. I measured about 3.5 inches and I curved it. I wanted mine to have a kind of round shape. That is exactly what I'm trying to achieve here. After measuring the 3.5 inches, I used my ruler to give it the shape that I wanted it to have. Then cut it out. After that, I'm going to bring in my back piece and repeat the same process. After the alignment, I measured 3.5 inches. Please make sure that the length of your interface for both the front and back piece are actually the same. Like the length should be the same. If you are making use of 3 inches or 4 inches or more, please make sure that the front and the back piece they have the same length. I'll be placing my interface on my front piece, right side facing right side. The front part of this material is shiny, so it's not difficult to identify. That is why I did not bother labeling it while drafting. But please, if the material that you are using is not shiny, like the front and the back is difficult to identify, please endeavor to label the back side so that you will not make mistake. I will go over to my sewing machine and stitch down the neckline. You can as well hem it, but I will not be hemming mine. After that, I will repeat the same process on my back piece. When I was done, I notched around the neck areas. I've gone ahead of you to iron my hemming gum in between my interface and my back piece, and I'll be showing you how I achieved that right after this. After placing my back piece on my front piece, right side facing right side, I will be joining the shoulder like so. I will use the interface of the front piece and cover the shoulder area just the way I'm showing you here. Pin them down, then go over to my sewing machine and stitch it down. I will repeat the same process on the other shoulder. Then I'll come back and show you. I will be hemming my sleeve as well. This is the result after joining the shoulders. The next is to give it a good press, both the neckline and my shoulders, so that it can last very well. I'll be placing my hemming gum in between my interface and my front piece. You can see the way I am arranging it. It should be laying flat underneath the interface. I will continue to arrange it until I get enough that will hold down the interface when I iron it. I trimmed off the excesses And here is how it looks after giving it a good press. Can you see how neat it is? Very beautiful. I also created a crease line on the center so that I can easily get the center of my front piece. Moving on, we'll be creating the design on the front piece. So I placed my tape on the center of my front neckline and I measured 15 inches down. The 15 inches is optional. You can measure more or less. It totally depends on you. Then on the shoulder area, I measured 4 inches. So I'll be using my trimmings to connect from the 15 inches up to the 4 inches that I marked on the shoulder. Just watch what I'm doing, you understand it better. I use my pin to hold it so that it will be firm. I place the other trimmings, then cut out others. The next is to place my sugar patch. You can be creative at this point. Here I was still figuring out how I'll be placing these sugar patches. So what do you think about this? Do you prefer this design or the one I later came up with? And again, what do you call this design, these sugar patches in your local market? Like, I don't understand this name of sugar patch. The name sounds funny to me actually, but I want to know. Please let me know in the comment section. After I was done placing it, I used my pin to hold it. I also came up by 6 inches from the hemline and placed the trimmings. I'll be going over to my sewing machine to join the two sides and also hem it at the lower part, and that will be all. Thanks for watching this video. Bye bye.